Tomorrow, Sascoc will announce their team for the Olympics in the sports of athletics, aquatics, surfing, sport climbing, gymnastics and wrestling for the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris. It's the first announcement as the qualification window remains open in a number of sports. The variety of codes is noticeable. To speak more about the support of athletes by the National Olympic and Paralympic Committee is Sascoc High Performance Manager Leon Fleiser. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to be chatting to you once again. I mentioned the variety of sports that you will be announcing that are going to what is the highest level that a sports person can attain, and that's the Olympic Games. How does the Opex program and the fact that we do have athletes in these different sporting codes, how do those two balance out?
Thanks, Baden, and once again, thank you for allowing us on your show. Firstly, on the Opex program, thank you to all our funders and sponsors, Bidvest, Mr. Price Sport, NLC, the department, as well as Planet Fitness. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Operation Excellence kicked in again in May last year with the launch of the Bidvest sponsorship, and really started helping our athletes. So out of the 39 athletes that we are announcing tomorrow, 23 are on the Bidvest Operation Excellence program. So that already shows you how the program works and help people qualify. The program is quite comprehensive. We're looking after 76 athletes at the moment, but over and above that, we also helped fund the training camps for the World Relay team that just went now to Barbados, where they qualified the 2 relays. We've helped rowing qualify a boat, and we're also assisting Triathlon South Africa in sending their team to the World Relays in Mexico to try qualify. So it's not just direct athlete support, it is also federation support as well to ensure we can assist them to prepare, qualify, and have a great result in Paris.
I mentioned the different sporting codes that are going to be announced going to the Paris Olympic Games. Just for the variety, has that got anything to do with the kind of athletes? Because you mentioned the support, and it's in sports where South Africa traditionally has done well at the Olympic Games, track and field and rowing. But what about the other, what some would call the Cinderella sporting codes?
Well, we've always done well in canoeing in the past, but there is a brand of young canoeists coming through. So this is a journey. As you know, our real strategic focus is on LA 2028, and a number of the athletes that have actually qualified for Paris are on our program specifically for 2028. So we've got canoeing, we've got sport climbing, which is a relatively new sport. It was debuted in Tokyo 3 years ago, so it's the second time around. This time we've qualified 4 athletes instead of 2. So quite an exciting sport, a very popular sport in France. So it's going to be really sold out in terms of the spectatorship that's going to be there. We got a couple of boats qualified for rowing, but we're not announcing it yet. We're hopefully going to qualify another boat. They're off to another qualifier now. But obviously track and field and swimming is our flagship. But noticeable in aquatics is Julia Vincent, who has now in diving, the 3-meter diving, moved up to number 9 in the world. So really proud of her. She is on the Operation Excellence program, and hopefully with the support we're giving her, she has been in a training camp and competitions in China. She will be able to improve that 9th position that she got at Worlds, hopefully into a top 6 or above.
I suppose the support for those smaller sporting codes, which many people are only really exposed to at the Olympics and at the Paralympic Games, is part of its value for the athletes, isn't it? Because perhaps without the support, we wouldn't necessarily have a diver at the Games.
Absolutely. So over and above the Operation Excellence support through Bidvest, we also have funding that we receive from our continental body, ANOCA, and our world body, IOC Solidarity. And a lot of those fundings, we try help what's called the smaller codes, where they don't really get a lot of funding to help them. We ensure we give them some funding that will help them prepare and qualify for the Games, and hopefully going forward to bring them up to a medal prospect.
But 79 with the number of Olympic sporting codes that are underneath the Sascoc banner seems like just a handful, and I suppose it only scratches the surface of the actual need that exists, especially in those smaller sporting codes.
Absolutely. So out of the 33 sporting codes on the program, we're looking at qualifying around 20, which for us, with the current sort of funding we struggled with over the last few years, we're quite happy with. However, going forward, we will want to qualify more sporting codes. Going towards LA, we got squash and we got cricket that's been added to the program, as well as flag football. So I don't think we're going to have that team because we don't have that federation yet in South Africa. But yeah, we want to look after the smaller ones. We've got breakdancing in these games, and we're hopefully going to qualify at least one lady for the breakdance. And we'll know that in the next few weeks. We are assisting them with funding as well to try and qualify.
With so much sport on every single day, top quality, elite sport, where does Olympic sport rank? And how difficult when you go to sponsors to explain the need to support Olympic codes where their major event is the Olympic Games? How difficult is that?
It is quite hard. You know, we got rugby, cricket and soccer that really sort of are what we call the big three in South Africa that take a majority of the sponsorship. You know, and rugby giving a return on investment, being twice a world champion over the last 4 years. So it's difficult to compete there. We don't really have an Olympic sort of heraldry like USA and GB have, but we're getting there. You know, when we met with Bidvest to become a TMSA sponsor, they really saw the benefit of partnering with Team South Africa and on all we do, not just delivering Olympic Games, but Olympic, Paralympic, Commonwealth, African Games, and a number of regional games as well. So hopefully we are currently in talks with other potential sponsors, and hopefully after Paris, people will see the benefit and keep investing. You know, the South African public love the Olympics when it's on. Then they forget about it for the 3 years in between or 4 years in between. So we really need to try to convince the funders to assist us, and then through our social media programs and media platforms to ensure that we keep it in the media between what the CEO likes to call flame to flame, so from the end of the games to the beginning of the games, just to make sure that we have some sort of investment in it and not just a year of the games where people show an interest.
With the current sporting landscape, that's certainly no easy problem to actually solve. Leon Fleiser is the head of the high performance program at Sascoc. Thanks for your time here on Newzroom Afrika.